It was a chaotic, incident-filled Saturday around a wet Zandvoort, culminating in a frantic qualifying with 2 red flags due to crashes from Logan Sargent and Charles Leclerc. But who was on pole and who finished where? Let's get into the latest in the F1 world. No surprises that it was Max Verstappen who put his Red Bull on pole at his home track for the 3rd year in a row. It was, however, not an easy feat for the Dutchman today, as he struggled for grip on the drying track in Q1 and faced a big challenge from the McLarens. Ultimately, he pulled it off and earned the top spot with half a second over the field and 1.3 seconds over his teammate Sergio Perez. What did you make of Max's qualifying? Before we go any further, according to YouTube, a whopping 98.1% of people who watch our videos aren't subscribed. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so we can continue bringing you the latest in the F1 world. In his first qualifying session in F1, Liam Lawson had a clean session and ended the day in P20, more than good enough for only his 2nd time running in this car. Liam said he found it very challenging, but also very exciting as he struggled for grip in the tricky conditions. At one point, he was only 4/10 off the benchmark set by Yuki Tsunoda, and given that he hadn't driven the Inter before in a 2023 F1 car, he can consider that a good first day. Liam's aim for the race is to keep it clean, but he's cautious for if it's dry as he'll have to relearn everything with the slick tyres. How do you rate Liam's first day? It was a tale of 2 halves down at Williams. Alex Albon put on an amazing performance to earn himself P4 on the grid for tomorrow's race, losing out on a top 3 spot in the dying stages of the session to George Russell. Logan Sargent's day was mixed as he made Q3 for the first time this year, but found the barriers down at turn 2 in a pretty big shunt. He said it was disappointing to leave the team with such a damaged car, and we'll have to wait and see whether it sustained any significant damage and whether this triggers any penalties for the American driver. Williams will be hoping to make the most of their P4 and P10 starts tomorrow. McLaren have seemingly found some epic pace from their recent upgrades, and they continued their good form from before the summer break today as Lando Norris finished in P2 and was head-to-head with Max Verstappen for the entirety of Q2 and Q3. Lando was no doubt in contention for pole today, and said even he was hoping Max would make a mistake to let him through, but once again he didn't. Oscar Piastri was similarly up there with Lando and Max all day, but dropped down to finish P8 in a flurry of final laps at the end of Q3. He'll be hoping for more from his race tomorrow, and Zach Brown says the target is podiums. Do you think they can achieve this? Impeding has become a big story in F1, and that has extended to this weekend with multiple drivers being pulled up for impeding others around the track in qualifying. These include Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton, and they'll have to head to the stewards to explain themselves and hopefully avoid penalties. Be sure to follow Apex on Instagram for the latest updates on any penalties throughout the grid. Just a note on Daniel Ricciardo, who after his crash in FP2 yesterday is rumoured to have flown to see orthopaedic specialist Dr. Javier Mir in Barcelona, who also treated Lance Stroll after he broke his wrists in a cycling accident at the start of the season. Christian Horner has said that Daniel may be targeting Singapore for his return, but Daniel said that his own aim is to come back as soon as he can, but wants to ensure he does things the right way so he comes back strong and competitive. He also wished Liam Lawson well for his running this weekend. Hopefully Danny makes a quick recovery. You're caught up with the latest in the F1 world from the Dutch Grand Prix qualifying as Max Verstappen put on a spectacular pole performance for his home crowd. But who do you think will be in the top 3 tomorrow? Let us know in the comments and like this video if you enjoyed it. For all of the latest as it happens, follow Apex on Instagram and of course subscribe to Apex for the latest in the F1 world.